Bring it on, One-Eyed Willie.
Why didn't visionary director Tim Miller stay on for Deadpool 2 when the first Deadpool was such a huge success? Why did the actor who played Weasel vow he'd never work with Ryan Reynolds again? And why did it take 11 years to get the Deadpool franchise started? This video will answer all those questions, but first, do me a solid and like and subscribe. Deadpool and Wolverine is the highest-grossing R-rated movie in cinema history, which undoubtedly means that it will be almost completely ignored come award season, except for a few below-the-line categories that no one pays any attention to. But at least now Ryan/Deadpool won't be the red-suited stepchild in the offices of Fox, Marvel, Disney.
We are Marvel. Yeah, but you're, Marvel licensed by Fox. It's like if the Beatles were produced by Nickelback. It's music, but it sucks. You were nicer as a kid.
Marvel Jesus, aka Ryan Reynolds, has always been laser-focused on how Deadpool should be brought to the screen.
I am Messiah. I am Marvel Jesus.
And let's face it, Ryan knew what he was talking about, while the studio didn't really have a clue what the fans wanted to see from the Merc with a Mouth. Ryan also knows how to market the franchise through ads and appearances. At a time when seasoned producers like Avi Arad were inflicting audiences with films like Borderlands and Morbius, Ryan knew exactly how the Deadpool franchise should be run from start to finish. But along the way to making 3 successful films and $2.6 billion and counting, God's perfect idiot has burned some bridges, including severing ties with directors and co-stars, but more on that in a minute. So why did it take 11 years for the first film to get the green light, and how did Reynolds make it happen?
The writers of Zombieland wrote the film, and I've been trying to get it made for 11 years, which is just, like crazy. We developed the script 6 years ago, wrote this fantastic script. It leaked online, and Deadpool fans went nuts for it.
It took so long because studios are terrified of doing anything different or original. An R-rated superhero movie based on the Merc with a Mouth, breaking the fourth wall, making obscene jokes, and inside pop culture references, not to mention disfiguring the face of one of people's sexiest men alive, well, all that seemed a bridge too far for Fox. The project languished, and the script sat on a shelf, until something strange happened. The script was leaked online. Hardcore Deadpool fans went nuts for it, and this led to the hiring of director Tim Miller, who owned Blur Studios, a visual effects company. Fox decided to fork over some small amount of cash to let Miller shoot some Deadpool test footage, which the studio would then show to focus groups until the marketing guys watered all the edgy concepts down to pablum. So it could have ended badly there, too. But then another strange thing happened. That footage was somehow leaked onto the internet, and 24 hours after the fans descended onto Fox demanding that the film get made, the deal for Deadpool was inked. And while Tim Miller is credited as an overpaid tool, the fact is there probably wouldn't be any Deadpool movies without him and that test footage, to say nothing of that classic first film. So why didn't Miller direct the second film? The official line is that Miller departed over, quote, creative differences.
It became clear that Ryan wanted to be in control of the franchise, and you can work that way as a director, but I can't.
You mean with a star that has ideas?
Yeah, that's going to say this is the way you're going to do it. I don't mind having a debate, but if I can't win, I don't want to play. And I don't think you can negotiate every creative decision. There's too many to make. So Ryan's the face of the franchise, and he was the most important component of that by far. So if he decides he wants to control it, then he's going to control it.
So what do you do?
You know what? I've always been pretty good at the moving on thing. I care deeply, and then you get to this point where you got to make a decision, and I'm pretty good about putting it in my rearview mirror.
When a movie star becomes the face of a franchise, it affords them a certain amount of power. and sometimes with that power comes the need to control. Tom Cruise is certainly an example of this with the Mission Impossible franchise, which has had 6 different directors. Is Ryan Reynolds a bit of a control freak, or is he simply very protective of a character he helped to create? He has worked with the same 2 writers, Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, in all 3 films, but I think anyone in that writer's room would agree that Ryan has the final say on every page, every line, every joke, and yes, every word. So with Tim Miller out, David Leitch came on board for Deadpool 2, which was also a great success. So why didn't he stay on board for number 3? Apparently the director's dance card was full, as he was busy at the time making The Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling, a decision he may or may not now regret. Another abrupt departure was made by fellow comedian T.J. Miller, who vowed to never work with Reynolds again, even at double the paycheck.
But I think after he got super, super famous from the first Deadpool, then things kind of changed. Would I work with him again? No, because he's so good at Deadpool. And I think it's weird that he hates me. Really weird moment on Deadpool where he said, let's do one more take. And everyone was like, okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And then as the character, he was like horrifically mean to me. But to me.
Cathartic.
As if I'm Weasel. Right. It was like, why is Ryan doing this? And the other weird thing is like, maybe he got, I think he's kind of an insecure dude. He's really nice.
So is that jealousy, competition among funny men, insecurity, or maybe a mix of all those things? Perhaps Ryan just got tired of working with anyone with the last name of Miller. Honestly, though, the funniest people on Earth are usually carrying quite a lot of baggage.
I'll tell you who should not be on your show. Ryan Reynolds. No. Huge ass.
Listen, I've met Ryan a couple of times when he was much less famous and probably a bit nicer. He worked hard to get Deadpool made, and he deserves most of the credit. Tom Cruise was once hailed for saving the movie industry, and certainly Ryan Reynolds has helped make this a very profitable summer for Marvel/Disney and the gang. Even Kevin Feige is over the moon.
Want to do some cocaine?
Hey, cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
What about Bolivian marching powder?
They know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Even snowboarding?
Even disco dust.
White girl interrupter?
Even forest bump.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes! But I can't.
When you consider the many millions of dollars Reynolds has also made by being a smart businessman with both Aviation Gin and Mint Mobile, maybe he's the guy that should be running Marvel.
People come up to me all the time and they say, what makes Aviation Gin so delicious? Most of the time I run away because non-celebrities frighten me.
Or at the very least, Sony.
Looks are everything. You ever heard David Beckham speak? It's like he mouth sexed a can of helium. Think Ryan Reynolds got this far on his superior acting method?
You can bet it won't be another 11 years for Ryan Reynolds to get a passion project off the ground, if he wants to. He's made it up to the rarefied air where he can do anything, which is probably a good thing for movie lovers. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.